I'm now going to talk to you about a highly controversial topic that of open relationships. I have been advocating for open relationships since the early 1980s and have come across a lot of criticism and resistance and personal challenges. And now, if you ask me, how much do you think that open relationship uh, would work, and how strongly do you want to advocate for that? I think I've come to sort of a more tempered position compared to when I was young in the early 1980s. I still believe that open relationship is an ideal because, in an open relationship, we do not feel that we possess the other person. The relationship does not put constraints on any of the participating partners. People are always free to develop and choose. You do not stay with the same person because you have gotten used to it. You stay with the person because almost every day you make a new decision that, okay, I still want to be with this person. There are still fulfilling, interesting, fun things, valuable things to share with this person, to do with this person, and go through together with this person. So that is an ideal situation. But of course, open relationship has a lot of challenges in real life, right? So one of the things that everyone can think of is we have been socialized since childhood to feel jealous, right? So when something that we think is ours, or and then it seems that someone else is sharing it or even taking it away. So jealousy is just a mild form of negative emotion. Some people may feel threatened. Some people will feel angry, and they can actually behave in very aggressive manner. So you have probably heard about stories of people actually murdering other people out of jealousy. So I think jealousy is generally bad, because when you think that you uh, have rights over the other person, or if someone else uh, loves another person other than you, you think that gives you the right to do something violent or aggressive to the other parties. I have difficulty accepting that. So, because the important thing is, do you believe that if you love someone, you should encourage that person to become the best possible person that he or she can be? And do you believe that being able to choose freely and move around freely and pursue the best um, options or opportunities in this person's life is like the best expression of love? So I think in my world, ideal love should be non-possessive, and should come with the intention to support the other person to grow and develop and be free. But of course, as I said, this is an ideal. When I say that it's ideal, it means that it is not always empirically real. Only a small number of people were able to achieve it. So, and I think it is important to be honest as well. If you do not have the capacity or the conditions for an open relationship, it's better for you to say no. If it's not for me, I won't be able to do that. Than to pretend that you're able to pursue an open relationship. An easy to imagine challenge open relationship that people can think of course, is that you may subscribe to open relationships, but you will need to find people who share the same view to enter an open relationship with, right? Like if you believe that, oh, I'm not going to be controlling you or possessing, your time, your life options and all that. You're a free person. I want you to grow and develop and become the person that you can be. Um, but if this person says no, like I want to be with you, I want you to be my like only partner. I don't want you to mess around with other people. And when you do that, I will label it as cheating or infidelity or whatnot. Uh, then you cannot have an open relationship, right? So this is why in reality, like people who are actually engaged in open relationships are always in the minority. And then I also want to point this out because of my work in the mental health area, counseling and psychotherapy. I have to tell you that the capacity to maintain an open relationship is very demanding on the person. And you need to feel relatively secure, and you feel that you have the capacity to give, to hold. Like in psychology, with this concept called the holding environment. In humanistic psychology, we refer to this like a capacity to communicate unconditional positive regard to the other party. All of these are only feasible when you're in a relatively good place. If you feel insecure, when you feel vulnerable, when you feel threatened, it is more difficult for you to be open, right? When you need support, when you need company, when you need care and attention, uh, it will be difficult for you to say that, okay, like this is my partner and he or she needs to be somewhere else enjoying his or her opportunity with another person. Uh, you can do it, or it's easier for you to do it when you're in a good place. Right? When you're needy, when you're weak, when you're vulnerable, it is usually not as easy to do it. So still, if we recognize that like open relationship is an ideal, in reality there can be all sorts of like challenges and limitations, right? And then it's up to us to decide whether there's an ideal that is worth striving towards. Is it an ideal that I feel prepared to work towards, or just like something that is like too idealistic for me and I don't want to be part of it. I think that is a choice that like each individual can make, and I see my role as like pointing out that there is this possibility, there is this ideal, and it can be like traced back to some important thinkers and some important actors. Actors not as in like actor in a play or movie that people would take action, right? And I just want to mention a couple of people that I think were important in my own journey. Frederick Engels is like someone I admire. He's, well, as you all know, is the co-author of the Communist Manifesto with Karl Marx. He has always been critical of us, like treating relationships and partners like possessions, and recognizing the full humanity of the person you love implies that you recognize and respect subjectivity, autonomy, and agency of the person you love, and that person should be free to choose and be free to pursue what this person prefers. Um, in the early generation of communists, there were like a few idealistic people, and like there is like this story that I particularly would want to share. That is like early American communist leader John Reed, and his partner Louis Bryant, who also had an erotic relationship with famous playwright Eugene O'Neill. That interesting story was captured in the movie Reds by Ron Beatty. And I think this gives like a very vivid portrayal of like a set of open relationship practiced in the early days of American communism. And more recently, we have this now movie that I have recommended to most people I know. It is the movie The Young Karl Marx. And it is like a story mainly focused on the friendship between Karl Marx and Frederick Engels. But in that movie, you will also see Karl Marx's relationship with Jenny, which is sort of like a typical relationship, but it's also unusual because Jenny chose to leave her aristocratic background and be with Karl Marx. And then the like more fascinating story to me, anyways, is the relationship between Frederick Engels and Mary Burns. And for people who are interested, I won't tell you the full story. You can like go online and search for yourself. Like that's very interesting story about Frederick Engels and Mary Burns. Both are not supportive of the marriage institution. They believe in the open, non-possessive relationship. And there is also a very interesting twist to that story that is like the role played by Mary Burns' sister, Lizzie Burns, in this relationship. The movie that I just mentioned to you, The Young Karl Marx, actually had this very interesting conversation between like Jenny and Mary Burns, like regarding whether Mary Burns would want to have a child with Frederick Engels. And Mary Burns, like very casually, brought in the possibility that Frederick Engels might want to have a child with her sister, Lizzie. So for people who are interested, you can like do some research into the actual sequence of events regarding the relationship among these characters. I want to give you like a little quiz here without giving you the answer to like get you to find the answer. So the question is very simple. The question is that like Frederick Engels has been like critical of the marriage institution through his entire life, right? So my question for you, you can do your research, is to ask the question: did Frederick Engels ever marry?